This is Asia's story, episode 5. As y'all know, the storm isn't always pleasant, but God is present. Amen. And our scripture is Matthew 8, verse 24 and 26. All right, so if you've been following my story, you would know that in episode 4, I had let you guys know that I had access to my funds. So I go, why does sun want to disappear as soon as I pull out you know what? Um, so I go back in the apartment building and I let the leasing agent know that I have funds available. And at this point, I just need to get my security deposit. But I wasn't really sure where to get a money order. And she was on her way to go to lunch. So she was like, I'm not supposed to be doing this, but you can come with me. And you can get your money order. Like she was telling me where I could get my money order from. I think initially she was telling me like where I could go to get it, but I wasn't familiar with the city at that time. I've only grown familiar with the city by living in the city. So she was like, okay, well, I'm about to go to lunch. I got to go to Kroger. So, you can get a money order there. So, y'all, she takes me with her on her lunch break. Now, the goal was for us to go get food and for me to get my money order. And I did tell her, like, I didn't have the physical card because I didn't. And she was like, I think you need the physical card, but she was like, yeah, you gotta have the physical card. But I had looked it up. I think I looked it up or something. Or maybe I asked ChatGPT and I was like, is there any way for me to get a money order without the physical card? And I want to say I looked it up. I don't know. But it had online, it had said that I was able to get the money order if I had like tap to pay. So we just went ahead and like tried it anyway. So we pull up to Real Taco first, and then I was like, I'll be in a minute. I gotta make a phone call. So during this time, it's growing closer and closer to the time of my shift because I had a shift at Cracker Barrel on this day. So I had to call off from my shift because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to make it on time. I was already stressed. The day was already enough as is. So I just called off from my shift. My boss was cool about it. I felt so terrible for calling off because I literally had just started working at Cracker Barrel like the week before. Um, so I do that, but I'm outside and I'm literally stressed, y'all. I'm stressed. I'm trying to figure out how to transfer the funds. I'm trying to figure out how I can get it into one of my bank accounts to where I can use my physical card. But I just could not figure it out. I had called my sister, let her know what was going on. She had given me a suggestion, but it didn't necessarily work. So I was just like, okay. So we pull up to Kroger, and I go in there. Before we had got to Kroger, I think I had before we got to Kroger, I was able to add like the digital card to my Apple wallet. So I was like, okay, like online it told me I can use tap to pay. So we get to Kroger and I'm waiting in line or whatever. The leasing agent, she grabs what she needs, she goes to the car to wait for me. So I'm in line, I'm waiting, and I let them know like, hey, I don't have my physical card, but I need a money order. And they was like, yeah, I think you need the physical card, but we can go ahead and try it. We tried it like 3 times. It does not work, y'all. So they were like, yeah, you're going to need your physical card. There's not really a way for us to do it without you having the physical card. So I'm just like, okay. So I get back in the car, let her know like, hey, it's not working or whatever. And I was like, I think I'll be able to do it at Publix. So we go to Publix, and I she dropped me off at Publix because she was like, I gotta get back. We had already been gone for a minute at this time. Like she had went and got her food. We went to Kroger. Now we at Publix. She like, I've been gone for too long. I don't want them to, question me, whatever, whatever. So, um, we go to Publix. She drops me off, and I go right in there. I'm like, hey, am I able to get a money order without a physical card? And they're like, no, we can't do it without the physical card. So I'm like, okay. Didn't even try at Publix. So, um, I ended up figuring out a way to transfer the funds to my Apple, like my Apple Cash. So I went to Walgreens to like this. I think I went to like the ATM or something like that. I don't know what I was thinking going to the. I think I was trying to pull money out and then take it to Publix to get a money order. I don't know what I was doing, but I was trying to use the tap to pay feature. Trying. It's not working, y'all. So at this point, I'm stressed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm crying. I gotta pee. Like, I'm just like, there ain't nothing that I can do. So I called a leasing agent. I let her know what's going on. I'm like, hey, I'm not able to get the money order. I do have the funds available on my Apple Pay. Is there any way that I can send you the money so that you can get me the money order? She agrees to do it, and she let me know it's probably going to be a fee. So I'll send you the amount of the fee so you can send me the security deposit plus the fee that it costs to get the money order. Okay, cool. I send her the funds, and then she gets the money order. She gives me my keys. We go back to the apartment complex. We view the apartment briefly, and then we part ways. So I call my sister. My sister pulls up, and we make our way to the homeless shelter so I can get my stuff. Because at this point, I've secured the apartment. The security deposit is taken care of. I got my keys. Y'all, we get to the homeless shelter, right? And I was like, so at this point, I still have my tag because I didn't give it to them yet. It was my last day. So I still have my tag or whatever. And I told my sister to come in with me. At this point, like, I didn't care. So we go in there, and I was like, just wait here. I'm going to go up by myself because I don't want them to give me no trouble. I don't want you to get in trouble. Whatever, just give me a minute. Y'all, I go upstairs, right? I check my locker just to make sure, like, we done. You know what I'm saying? We done here. Check my locker. Sure enough, somebody else's stuff is in the locker. They cleared my locker out. They stripped the bed. I just, checked the locker just to confirm. So I'm like, okay, because they didn't necessarily tell me where my stuff was at. When my caseworker had texted me earlier in the day, she didn't tell me, like, where my stuff was going to be. And I knew that because they had stripped my bed, they cleared my locker out. But she didn't say where they put my stuff. So I go to the staff member. I'm like, hey, I gave them my bed number, and I let them know, like, I'm looking for my stuff. Do y'all know the one that I spoke to, that I was more familiar with? Well, I was kind of like, it wasn't necessarily one or the other that I was like speaking to directly. I just went over there to them, and I was just talking to who, was listening to what I was saying. Do y'all know this particular individual? She looks to the other staff member, smirks, and says, oh, this is bed number. I'm not going to tell y'all my bed number. But I'm like, okay, because what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you being funny? I'm asking for my stuff. I wasn't rude. What is the issue? Y'all, she like, oh, I don't know where your stuff is. I just got here not too long ago. They told me that your bed was stripped today, but they didn't tell me where your stuff is. Okay. What that got to do with me? One thing about it, somebody better figure it out. So y'all, everybody acting clueless. Everybody acting like they don't know. She like, maybe you can come back tomorrow so you can get your stuff because I don't know where they put it. I just know that, no, I'm not coming back, nothing. You gonna find my stuff today because I let you slide with that little funny little stunt that you pulled when I came and asked for my stuff politely. But now you want to play clueless and you acting like you don't know where my stuff is. No, you're going to find my stuff tonight. I'm leaving with my stuff. I said, I'm trying to move into my apartment. I'm not coming back tomorrow. I need my stuff tonight. Y'all, I'm irritated at this point. I'm cussing. I'm finna show my complete behind in this establishment. So finally, she's like, okay, I got one more place I can check. Sure enough, my stuff is in there. I get my stuff. Me and my sister thank the lady that did actually help us. And we go on our way. Because don't play with me. I'm like, I'm finna show my behind in this establishment. I don't care. And that is episode 5.